Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to talk about The Flash. So this film has been in development hell for quite some time, and even when it was finished, even when it was ready, they still delayed it by I think about a couple of years because of the situation with Ezra Miller. Now, first off the bat, I just want to say I really want Ezra Miller to be recast. I don't think he is a particularly good choice for Barry Allen. Me personally, I think Grant Gustin from the Flash TV show, he is a better Barry Allen than Ezra Miller. I do think he should be cast for other reasons, though, for everything that he has done. And I think Warner Brothers should distance themselves from him, to be completely honest. With that said, it's good. It's good. It's obviously a multiverse film that, unfortunately for the film and the sort of the structure of DC, I feel like this film should have been maybe the sort of the third in the trilogy of Flash. It should have been the one to kind of cap everything off. It shouldn't be the first solo Flash film, because doing a Flashpoint film, I think realistically you should have the Flash being an established character, gone through a lot of things, and finally getting to the point where he realizes that he can run so fast he can go back in time, and think, I can go and save my mum. But what I will say, the writing in this film, to have the two different Barrys, the one who is the more established Justice League Flash, and then the one who is only just getting his powers, it's a really interesting take. So you get to see both perspectives of the experienced one and the kind of an origin story, sort of. The younger Barry is very, very annoying. Very annoying, and it's played off very well, to the point where the experienced Flash even makes a comment of, "Am I really that annoying?" And I have to say, it pains me to say this, but I think Ezra Miller did a really good job of portraying the two different characters as essentially like two different people. And I'm still not too sure that he can carry a blockbuster film in itself. But it does. There are moments in this film where it shows he is an incredible actor. He really, really is. And the strange thing is, I walked out of that film and I thought the non-action scenes of that film are probably the strongest aspect. And the only time I thought of that sort of previously would be something like The Amazing Spider-Man, where you had Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone, and I thought the action scenes were good, but the chemistry between the two of those when they were on screen was incredible, and the director knew how to do the kind of sort of romantic comedy kind of scenes. And it's similar with this, and I completely forget the director's name. But I feel like the director knows how to do drama, because there are moments in this film with Barry's dad, Barry and his mum, and they are really hard hitting. And I will give props to all of the actors there that play essentially the family. They are very good. Now, Barry's mum and dad aren't in it too much, and obviously it is mostly about Barry trying to fix the death of his mum. So you do get to see his mum a couple of times, but she's not in it a lot, essentially. But there are moments in there where older Barry is interacting with his mum, where his mum doesn't realise that that's her son, because her son at that time is like a 9-year-old, so she wouldn't exactly recognise someone who's 20-something. And those emotional scenes, I think if they hadn't resonated, if they hadn't been as effective as they were, I don't think the film would have been as hard-hitting or as good as it was. I think the biggest flaw in this film is without a doubt the CGI. You pick it up from the moment the film starts that this CGI is terrible, absolutely appalling. It's I would class it as like PlayStation 2 graphics kind of bad. It makes Henry Cavill's mustache look good. And it's unfortunate because, like I said, there are moments in this film where some of the CGI looks good and looks passable. But the moments where he's in the Speed Force and he's looking at the the different times that he can go to, it's so bad and so rubbery. It's like Scorpion King versions of bad, and it's not what you'd expect from a blockbuster film that has a budget of, I think they've said the budget is around 250 million, but with all the delays, with the reshoots, with the marketing that's going on about it, I would expect that budget to be at least 500 million, at least. So with everything that's gone with it, I think for a film to have such appalling CGI is kind of criminal, to be honest. I want to say I got past it, but I felt like every scene where there was bad CGI, I couldn't help but just cringe a little bit and just think, oh, this is so bad. But like I said, getting over the fact that I think his friends from the crime lab, they were a nothing part. The opening scene is bad. That has babies falling out of a skyscraper. The babies look awful, like the CGI babies. And at the moment he put a baby in a microwave, I was out. I was like, no, not dealing with it. I think if you took away that opening scene, there's not too much missed from this film. I think Michael Keaton does a good enough job. Again, there's moments for him that resonate in terms of like an emotional thing, but there's also times where you just think he is just collecting a paycheck. And I have seen a number of people on YouTube comment, and I completely agree, where he says things like, everyone's seen in the trailer where he said, let's get nuts. It's a callback, and you kind of get the feeling that when Keaton is saying it, he doesn't even remember himself saying it in the original. But it's written in the script because he said it in the original, let's have him say it again. But it doesn't make sense in the context of the film. Seeing him against Batman was great. I think, again, I can't remember the name who plays the name of the woman that plays Supergirl, but she was actually pretty good. I was expecting it to be quite bad, to be honest, because I'm not a big fan of the suit. I'm not a big fan of the character changes. But overall, she was actually pretty good. And for a multiverse film, there is actually stakes with this, which is something that you don't see a lot with multiverse films, because you kind of get the idea that with a multiverse, oh, it's all right, we can go to another multiverse and get this person, or that, even though they've died in that version, no, we can go and get another version. No. In this, there are stakes and there are lessons to be learned. And from that, again, it comes down to the writing. And I think the writing is actually quite strong with this. It's probably one of the strongest parts to this film. I'm not too sure if it's the writing or the acting on part of like the Allen family. But I do think potentially there's a case for them both to be made at how strong they both are. Overall, it is a really fun film. I do want it to do well because I think it's a really fun film and I think people will enjoy it. I can understand a lot of the negative remarks because me personally, I still don't like Ezra Miller. I want this film to do well despite Ezra Miller. And I still want Warner Brothers to distance themselves and recast The Flash. But other than that, putting that all aside, Miller does a very good job in this role. And I think there are times in the past where a Hollywood actor, I'm just going to reference it, Elliot Page. Elliot Page is in the Umbrella Academy, and the moment that Ellen Page turned into Elliot Page, they completely changed the character of Anya. that they're playing in the Umbrella Academy. And I have to give Ezra Miller credit that Barry Allen is Barry Allen. And because Ezra Miller, however he identifies in real life, he didn't force a change on the character. So I have a lot of respect for him for that. I have a lot of respect for him as an actor because I think he's portrayed the character very well. And I think his acting skills in this are very good. To play off essentially like a green screen mirror of yourself and what happens with him and his dad, him and his mum in this film, it shows how strong of an actor he is. As a person, horrible human being. As an actor in this film, I have to give him credit. I really do. But guys, if you have seen The Flash, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because it really does help me out. And I'll see you all in the next video.